Alright. So today we're gonna review the Black Russian medical cannabis, and we're gonna have a more serious subject as well, which is called addiction, which can apply to a lot in society. That's why we have this background of like mugshot. That background. Anyway, it's a serious background for a serious subject. People, let's. I shouldn't laugh about it because like it's gonna be my own story, so it's gonna be like kind of alright. But let's start with the funny stuff. We're gonna start with the medical cannabis, which is called Black Russian. It's a Black Russian strain. Black, and my ex-housemate was Russian, so maybe that's like combination of the world. Where cultures meet, let's say it like that. Let's cultures meet. Anyway, so I started smoking a long time ago, right? A long time ago. But that doesn't matter because now I could actually say I would use it legally as medicine. Because I had a sample, from the Black Russian thing, and I actually have a hernia from really repetitive work. I used to be factory flunky, where I used to move things from A to B, like very repetitive for a long time. And obviously that has like some sort of, I personally think it's not only like, it's not only the repetitiveness of the work, it's also what kind of mindset these kind of things bring, like, because obviously, when you're not happy with what you're doing, you're going to get physical issues at some point. Very important, people, very important. Keep that in mind. That's why I'm really grateful that I'm able to do what I'm doing now. That, I'm happy, other people are happy, everybody's happy. Anyway, so that's why I got like a hernia, right? So, the medical solution would apply to me, I would think. I got myself Black Russian, 22% THC. I'm not gonna show the flower because I'm not allowed to show the flower through the regulations. I'm not allowed to consume the flower while I'm talking about it because then you're consuming the flower. But I am allowed to talk about it, so that's what I'm gonna do. Well, what did it give me? It gave me a good high. It was an alright high, like, it wasn't like the best, but it was alright, like, but what it gave me was a cough. A cough, like a really annoying cough, like, and the other people that I know that coincidentally smoked it, I also got a cough. So I'm personally not saying it's bad. I'm not saying like, at the moment I would just go for the tax-free route. Because there's one more different thing, right? Which is a promotional tool for controlled substances like this. That a plant, in this case the cannabis plant, would be grown in a controlled environment, which would mean that there's less harmful impact on humanity, right? So, like for me, is that I forget shit every time I'm talking about it. No, I mean like seriously harmful. Like there's literally no data in the whole history that there was any harmful side effect. Like seriously harmful, like alcohol accidents, domestic abuse, bar fights, stuff like that. I mean, there's like no data at all that it's like stuff like that, like, minor things. It's just like serious hard drugs, right? I mean, and stuff like that. What? The biggest side effect is that you cuddle somebody to death, like, these things are illegal, which is ridiculous, but that's a whole other point. That's a whole freaking other point. Anyway. Sorry, it's just. So, good, let's go back to the controlled environment thing, right? So, of course it's growing in a controlled environment. It's a tropical plant. It's 10 degrees outside. People, come on. Of course it's growing in a controlled environment. Of course, like, And yeah, I mean that you can check that, you can check the THC content. Yeah, I mean, isn't that much different than I go to the greenhouse in Amsterdam or something like that. When I say the tax-free option, and most probably get it a little bit more affordable. And I don't know. I really, really, really hope that somebody from one of those amazing cannabis things, medical cannabis things, is going to inbox me, is going to prove me wrong, and they're going to give me like, this is like the most amazing shit that you ever got, and it's cheap as fuck, and then I'm going to be like, alright. But till so far, I'm not convinced. I need more convincing, let's say it like that. Anyway, now we're going to come on a more serious subject, which is, I was talking with a friend of mine, right, a couple of weeks ago, and he always he's going through some tough times. Let's say it like that. And he calls me when he goes through some tough times, and I happily talk with him, because I've seen my tough times myself. Everybody has like their ups and downs in this society. It's like, I'm not gonna say it's a cold world out there, because it's what you make of it at the end of the day. That's something really, 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 really important, like what I said earlier as well, about the job and stuff like that. I mean, if you're not happy with something, you don't have to do it. So you also don't have to respond in the way that you respond. It's everything what we do are choices. And yeah, it sounds really hard, but it is what it is. We respond to certain things, how we are programmed to respond, but we can change it. We can sort out help, or we can find something that is more applicable for us and make our own situations better, etc., etc. It is. That's absolutely possible, but my apologies for that. So he called me, and we always talk, and he asked me like, look, on your channel, do you ever talk about your past? He goes, so serious, this is just like, actually, that time of my life, for me personally, I don't look back, you see me smiling, I don't look back at it as terrible or something like that. But I was, that's most probably my drug of choice was amphetamine. I was like from the ADHD gang, when I consider myself all day hard drugs. Oh no, my alarm is going in the middle of it. Wait. So my alarm actually is, what time is it? It's 7:15. I actually need to work into 2 hours and a quarter, but we're gonna wrap this up really quickly. Like, that's why I'm like, I'm just awake. I can't be. Anyway, so I used to have like serious addiction issues myself. Like, I used to be from the all day hard drugs team, and I used to love amphetamine. Like, I can actually. That's what I'm trying to say here, right? Yes, I hated my job. Yes, I hated my whole existence, because that's it. You don't love a drug, you actually hate your existence. That's main. Focus on the cause here. Don't focus on focus on the outcome, because otherwise anything can be the outcome. I mean, look around you. I mean, people, alcoholism, obesity, stuff like that, social media, sex addiction, you have porn addiction, you have game addiction. People find addictions in anything. Why? Because our brain is basically wired to be addicted. We have a dopamine response if we eat, so the whole thing, like, you see some influencing people and all, like, yeah, when we were hunters, gatherers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so you get like your food, you have your dopamine response, you eat more. Or you hunt more, blah, 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 whatever. It's the same with sex. It keeps us alive. It keeps humanity alive. But that same dopamine response is also responsible for care, of course. And, vitamin is like really, really high. Like, I believe it's 1,500-1,600 times higher than like what you normally get. So obviously I was really happy. And obviously that's why I find like ADHD and stuff like that, right? If you give somebody a daily dose of vitamin, right? Is that person gonna get more value of his life? It's gonna be happier. If he's gonna get more value out of his life, it's a different story, but he's definitely gonna be happier. So does it actually help a disease such as ADHD and stuff like that? I don't know. I think it's a plaster on the wound. I personally think it's a plaster on the wound. But yeah, don't if you are on some sort of subscription or something, or prescription if you're on some sort of prescription or something. Don't stop because of my words, but do give it some thought. It's gonna obviously the hard drug is gonna make your life better in your mind. It's just like if I have a drink or if I have a smoke, I'm gonna be happier at that moment. Well, does it solve it? I don't know. But for me personally, what I said, I used to take 5 to 10 grams every day for about 4 years. I enjoyed my life. I enjoyed the moments that I was on the drug, let's say it like that. It wasn't a bandage for deeper pain because I wasn't enjoying indeed the job what I was doing. That's why for me it's now so easy to not do these things. It's like if I'm gonna stay awake all night, right? Or I guess a couple of days, like sleep was that, what kind of influence is it gonna have on my life? Am I gonna work out? Am I gonna do the things that I need to do to make people happy? That's why I prefer doing that, like making people happy and delivering people smiles. That for me is a way bigger high. There's no bigger high than that moment that you come inside. That's point one, it's a rush, right? You never know who's gonna sit inside. It's gonna be a happy crowd, it's not gonna be a happy crowd. You never know, it's always a surprise. And then inherently the smiles that you can give, it's like for me that's a way bigger rush. So for me it's like it's easy, that rush. I trained my mind to focus more on that rush. So if you have some sort of issues here, that's just what I'm trying to say. We're in really long way. If you have some sort of issue here, try to find a replacement. First look at the cause. Eliminate that. If it's a relationship that you're in, that's unhealthy, a toxic relationship. Whether it's a job that's not healthy. Rather that's certain thoughts, there's therapy. There are certain people that can help you, and go out for that, and there's one more thing what I want to add to that, and I do think it's very important, is don't focus on what you are at this point. Focus on what you want to become. Because if you go constantly, I know people and that's actually not my friend, also like everybody, a lot of people, let's say like that, they keep on focusing that they have had a problem. I never, in my whole entire period that I was super addicted to amphetamine, shit like that, I never focused on the thing that I had a problem. I never saw it as a problem, which is most probably not good. But now even what I say, I think it's like a really fun time. It was a really fun time, I learned a lot, blah, 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 ever do it again, no, it's not my life anymore. But I didn't focus on it at all. I said, all Titanic, and all is going wrong, Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I am gonna focus more on shorter, like 5 to 10 minutes things. So you're not gonna sit here forever. And I'm gonna give you 2 things, gonna give you 1 quote a week for moments like this, and it's gonna be a positive or at least a happy quote, to give you some sort of mindset. And I'm gonna give you 1 story as well. So stay tuned if you want to see it all. I would highly advise to subscribe, because then you're gonna see it all. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna wish you all an amazing now. Bye bye.